So next we come across that is constructors in derived class. Constructors are going to play a very important role in the initialization of class members when the object is created. Whenever an object is created, it is going to automatically initialize the class members. Okay. So how to use the constructors in derived class? So if the base class contains the constructor with no arguments, then there is no need of constructors in derived class. For example, let us consider a base class where the base class contains a one constructor with having no arguments. Then in derived class we should not able to use any. If the constructor in base class takes the arguments, then the derived class should have constructor and pass the arguments to the constructors of base class. Now in derived class we have to pass the arguments for the base classes. This is the general form which is used for constructors in derived classes. So it will contain the derived constructor, argument 1, argument 2 up to argument n, and argument d. Base 1, that is a base class with argument 1, base class 2 with argument 2, and base class n with argument n. So there may be any number of base classes. So we should be able to pass these arguments from the derived class only. And here it is also containing argument d will contain the derived class constructor, the body of the derived class constructor, argument d. That is all about the constructors in derived class. So before starting these constructors and derived classes, let us know how many classes are there in this program. First class is, that is alpha, and the second one is beta, and the third one is gamma. So basically there are three different classes. One is alpha, beta, and gamma. In alpha class we are having a one private data member called as x. To access this x, I am going to create a constructor called as alpha. So it is going to take a number of arguments. As you know, if there are number of arguments are there in the base class, then we have to pass the number of arguments in derived classes by using the constructors. Alpha int I, x is equal to I. The value of I, now it will be passed to the protected data member, that is x. And also we are writing a statement called as alpha initialized, and one member function called as show x. We are displaying the content of the x here. Similarly, in beta, we are having a one private data member called as y, and y is of type float. In public section, by using the constructor, that is beta float of j, now the value of j is assigned to the y here. Now we have displayed a statement called as beta is initialized, and another member function called as show y. We are just displaying the content of the y to the user. That is all about the alpha and beta. Now in gamma, class gamma, it is a derived class which is going to derive its properties from beta class as well as alpha class. Type of derivation is public and public also. Now int m comma n, these two are private data members of the gamma, where in gamma, so gamma is a constructor here, same name as that of the class, int a, float b, int c, int d, colon, alpha a comma beta b. Here in derived class we have to pass all the arguments contained in the base classes. So number of arguments that are passed is 4. So kindly note here, by using the gamma, that is in derived class gamma, I have to pass the arguments for base classes. Now this int a will be passed to this particular alpha, whereas this float will be passed to this particular beta class. Okay, whereas this c will be passed to this m, and d will be passed to n. So that is why we are accessing the 4 different parameters here. Gamma of int a will be assigned to the alpha, float b, that b will be assigned to the beta constructor, int c and int d, both c and d will be assigned to the protected data member of the class gamma, that is m comma n. Now see here, m is equal to c, this will be assigned here, and n is equal to d. So that's how I have defined or also initialized the M and N protected data, private data members of the gamma with respect to C and D. Now, kindly look at here. There are two statements different here. That is beta. Alpha of A, comma beta of B. So alpha, it is going to take one number of argument. What type of argument it is going to take? It is going to take int I. So A will be passed here. Now beta, it is going to take float J. That means it is going to take floating type of data. So beta of B is of type float. So now it is right. So it is also going to display the statement that is gamma initialized. Now finally we are going to have the display function that is show mn, display the content of m and display the content of n with respect to private data members of the class gamma. Now finally we come across int main. In int main we have to create an object called g. Okay, it is an object called g of the class gamma. Apart from that, we have to pass the arguments here. What type of number of arguments here? We have to pass 4 number of arguments here. A, B, C, D. So consider here G is an object of the class gamma. Now we have to pass the constructor, call the constructor here. To call the constructor here, we are having 4 parameters here. So A is equal to 5, float B is equal to 10.75, C is equal to 20 and D is equal to 30. Okay, C out. First we are going to call show X. That means we are going to call this particular function by using the object G. Then we are going to call show Y. We are going to call this particular function using G. And finally we are going to call show MN. This particular function by using the object G. So when these particular statements are executed, the value of A is equal to 5. That will be assigned to the X. The value of B will be assigned as 10.75. That will be assigned to the Y. And C will be assigned to 20. That is going to, in turn, it is going to assign to the M. And the value of D is equal to 30. That is, in turn, it is going to assign to the N. Finally, the output of the program looks like this. Beta is initialized, alpha is initialized, gamma is initialized, X equal to 5, Y is equal to 10.75, M is equal to 20 and N is equal to 30. That's the last content. Now we come across the last topic, that is containership or nesting of classes. So let us see what will happen. Let us consider a class called as alpha, another class called as beta, now class gamma. Now, inside the gamma class, the objects of alpha class as well as objects of beta class can be contained. A class can contain the objects of another class, or we are going to call it as containership or nesting of classes. The class gamma contains the objects of both alpha as well as beta, and this particular concept is called as containership or nesting of classes. Here the A is the object of the alpha class, whereas B is the object of the beta class, will contained in the gamma class. This particular concept, what we are going to call it as containership list. So how to pass the arguments in derived classes so that it can be passed to the base class constructors. So the format is like this: constructor, argument list, followed with the colon, initialization section, assignment section, which should be enclosed within the pair of curly braces. Now, let us take an example. Class XYZ. It is going to have two private data member. One is int A, comma another one is int B. So now I am going to create a constructor called XYZ. As you know that constructor is going to have the same name as that of the class. So now it is going to take two number of arguments here, I, comma j. Now in the initialization section, we are going to define how to assign the values for the private data member A as well as private data member B. Here A of I, just simply assign the value of I to the A, just like this. A will be assigned to I. Now B will be assigned indifferently, that is 2 star j. Now B is equal to star j. So now it is assigned that p is equal to 2 star j. So now in the main function, we are going to call or create an object called x, which is of the class xyz. Now, whenever an object is created, it is going to initialize the private data member of the class xyz. So that is called as constructor. So now we have to pass the two arguments here, that is 2, 3. Now that 2 will be resembled assigned to the I here, whereas 3 will be assigned to the value j here. As you know that a is equal to I. That is, what is the value of a here? A is equal to 2. Directly it will be assigned. Now b is equal to 2 star j. Here it is defined. So now, while defining b is equal to 2 star. What is the value of j here? J will be 3. 2 star 3 is equal to 6. Now, the value of b will be set as 6. So this is how it is going to work. This is the concept of initialization list. This is the general format. Here it will contain the constructor name, number of argument list, followed with the colon and initialization section. And this will called as a initialization section here.